Hi, I'm Tallon Whitting. Welcome to the 19th Hole Network. For the next hour, Charlie Epps, the golf doctor, along with our friends at Bloomberg TV and the Back Nine Network, will be your window into the world of golf. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the following segments on fashion, equipment, travel, everything that pertains to the lifestyle of golf. Let's now check in with Charlie Epps and find out why he believes you can't play good golf with bad gas.
Hi, I'm Charlie Epps, better known as the golf doctor. I teach golf, and I teach golf through the word gas. That's an acronym for grip, aim, stance, and swing. Remember, you can't play good golf with bad gas. You always have to start with a good grip. And so consequently, we're going to spend a lot of time on how you put your hands on your golf club. There's three classic ways to do it. You can overlap, putting your little finger of the left hand around the index finger of the right. You can interlock if you have small fingers like Jack Nicklaus. Or juniors, ladies, you can go to a full fingered grip. But the most important thing about gripping the club, once you have your fingers around the grip, is the pressure that you're going to use. And I was taught many years ago by the famous Jim Flick, the great teacher, let the club fall in front of you, and as it gets to parallel to the ground, you're going to feel the pressure increase in the hands and in the forearms. All you have to do is bring it back about halfway. Now you're going to have the proper feel, the proper pressure, and always remember the pressure is very important in swinging the club when you put your hands and fingers around the grip.
If you would like to advertise on the 19th Hole Network, call Graham McKernan at 713-479-5306. June is the month for the U.S. Open, and the Sunday finish often falls on Father's Day. Jennifer Bosworth with the Back Nine Network caught up with PGA Tour players and asked them how their fathers played an instrumental role in helping them achieve their dreams to play professional golf.
They're often known for their focused and intense personalities, but if you want a tour player to crack a smile and get real here at the U.S. Open, all you have to do is ask him about his dad.
Having my father alive for a couple of them was really special. This tournament meant so much to my dad because he just loved the fact that you got tested, just the mental test. And of course, he's a spec-up warrior. I mean, he's going to like that kind of environment.
My dad was quite a competitor. He was a good player. He was down at single fingers most of his life, and played a lot of golf, a lot of weekends, a lot of holidays, wherever we went around the world. He didn't force golf onto me. I had a passion for golf at an early age, and he just supported me all the time.
My dad was the one that introduced me to the game, and and he's been 100% supportive the whole way through my junior career, amateur career, and up until this point. And he has no real input into my golf or anything anymore, but it's just nice to have him around.
My dad died much too young, and he died in 1970 at 56 years old, and he saw me win 2 of my U.S. Opens. He missed a lot of things that happened in my life, and he would have loved to have been part of. And we get to Father's Day, and in fact, I think of him every day. But it's Father's Day is you think of him a little bit more.
Back in '98, he was caddying for me, and we had that Sunday was actually my 20th birthday and Father's Day, so we're serenaded on every tee with songs of Happy Birthday followed by Happy Father's Day chant. So it was a special day for us, and hope this Sunday will be special again.
Winning the U.S. Open doesn't get any more special than that. At the Olympic Club, I'm Jennifer Bosworth for the Back Nine Network.
Welcome back to the 19th hole, and let's continue talking about gas. And we're going to pick out the letter A for aim. We all know golf is a target game, and we must learn how to aim correctly. And I recommend you aim the club face first to your target, then you let your body settle in parallel left to that aim. Always aim club face first, body second. The body is always parallel left to the direction you want the ball to go. So remember, to be a good golfer, you must learn how to aim. And Claude Harmon always told me, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time.
This TaylorMade R1 is the hottest driver I've ever hit. Let's check in with the folks at TaylorMade and find out how they consistently come out with some of the best equipment in the game.
TaylorMade is a group of golfers.
We are looking at ways to grow the game here.
We're the expert about golf.
Really, one goal in mind, creating hot products. Products that perform phenomenal, products that inspire people.
Everything we make, we feel is the best in the business.
We build the greatest golf clubs in the world.
They've been the leader in the industry and the #1 company.
That's what we live every day at TaylorMade Used Golf, and it's really a fun place to be.
We've built a really unique place here. It started in 1979 by a man named Gary Adams, whose original vision was to build a company by golfers for golfers. A real authentic connection to the game of golf. The people that work here really have embraced the idea of creativity, changing product lines and the way we do business faster than our competitors. It's about this culture of innovation that I think is really driving us now.
This is really where it all happens. We've got our industrial designers, our graphic designers.
I really like this line here. I think we're going to be able to do some pretty cool things with that.
The teams really that are charged with reshaping what is cool every year.
Everything has to coordinate and fit.
And it's got to be perfect down to the millimeter.
The players are really, really excited about the graphic. They're having a lot of fun with it. That's
awesome.
Pretty cool.
Soul design and the ASP, a very cool, bold statement on itself.
That's one of our main goals, is to strike emotion with the consumer, so when they pick that club up, they just say, wow, that's amazing stuff.
For 2013, we have all new products. Really, really excited about all of them. The R1 driver, which already is the #1 played driver on the PGA Tour in its first week. We had Dustin Johnson win with it the very first time he put it in play.
It's incredible. I've been using it for about a month, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I hit it further, I hit it straighter.
Our design is the only design in the world that can give us the ability to change the loft and the face angle independently to give you the best of both settings that you want for your game.
So all we did was take it from 10 to 10.5 in loft because he's just a little bit shallow in his angles of height. What did your eye tell you there?
That was good.
And that's why the R1 is such a big breakthrough in terms of one driver fits everyone.
Rocket Blades irons.
The Rocket Blades irons are a massive breakthrough for us. The speed pocket in the bottom of the Rocket Blades irons is providing a performance that you just haven't seen before.
It'll take a couple months for a professional to get into a new set of irons, but I hit them so good immediately I played them the next week.
This year we introduced the new ball, Lethal. It's a 5-wear golf ball. And the biggest change that we made this year was an aerodynamic change. That second stage flight really carries out, less affected by the wind. This is a very high-end, outstanding performance tee to green golf ball.
Audi Zero, lightest spike golf shoe on tour. It's 10.6 ounces, which is about 40% lighter than anything else out on the market. It's actually the thinnest outsole we've ever built, which brings the golfer way down to the ground, which improves stability, your ability to get through the shot. We have what we think is the most revolutionary piece of golf footwear ever created.
The Kingdom is set up, it's a unique way.
It's like the Disneyland of golf. Whatever they need, top to bottom, driver to putter.
Not only do our tour players come in, but celebrities.
One of the guys that probably surprised me the most was Matthew McConaughey. He was awesome.
People can actually set up a fitting up there and come on in under a VIP package.
TaylorMade does a better job than anyone at making sure that the clubs are fit for you.
Golf needs to reach out and touch consumers in a different way, a way that's new and innovative and fun.
Everyone at TaylorMade, I think we feel like a family.
A fun place to work, very energetic, passionate golf people.
The process has gotten better and better, and things get introduced and push your design to the next level.
Most I'm excited about is just watching this company continue to grow and being a part of that.
If you love golf and you're passionate about golf, this is the place to be.
This month, the 113th U.S. Open will be played at Marion Golf Club in Pennsylvania. Let's look at one of the most famous U.S. Open venues, Pebble Beach in Northern California.
There's nothing more special, and every one of them has said, if you're only going to win one U.S. Open, that should be at Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach is, I mean, it's where God waits for tee times, you know, so we're in line behind him.
Pebble Beach's place in the lore of the U.S. Open is arguably as pronounced as any other course in America, having hosted the national championship 5 times. The first was in 1972. By the time Jack Nicklaus came here to the tee box at the par 3 17th hole, he had a 3-shot advantage over a late-charging Bruce Crampton. Facing a stiff wind into his face, Jack Nicklaus chose a 1-iron. He would later admit that he slightly rerouted the club just a fraction of a second before impact. The resulting shot would rattle off the flagstick, settling some 5 inches from the cup for a certain birdie. The cushion was enough to secure victory for Jack Nicklaus at the 1972 U.S. Open. The 17th hole would figure prominently again 10 years later at the 1982 U.S. Open. Tom Watson started the day tied for the lead while Jack Nicklaus was 3 shots back. On the strength of a run of 5 straight birdies, Nicklaus chased down Watson and the two battled down the stretch. Jack Nicklaus would finish his round tied for the lead with Tom Watson just about the time that Tom Watson was hitting his tee shot here at the par 3 17th hole to a back-cut hole location. Watson's tee shot sailed over the green and settled into very thick and heavy rough. When he was ready to execute his second shot on the par 3, his caddy Bruce Edwards would encourage him by saying, "Get it close." Watson replied, "Get it close? Hell, I'm going to sink it." And he did just that, becoming the author of perhaps one of the most famous golf shots in the history of the game. Watson would also birdie the par 5 18th hole and win the 1982 U.S. Open.
When I think of U.S. Opens, I think of Pebble Beach. I think of that moment and how animated he got. You know, that's the first memory that comes to mind.
At the 1992 U.S. Open, the drama played out at the short par 3 7th green. As Colin Montgomery sat in the clubhouse watching one hopeful after another succumb to the brutal 40-plus mile-per-hour winds, he and seemingly the rest of the world thought the U.S. Open would be his. But Tom Kite had something else in mind. Leading by 3 when he came to the par 3 7th hole, his tee shot landed in a thick nest of rough. This was the same spot where from Nick Faldo had taken a double bogey only shortly before him. But Kite, the original practitioner of the 60-degree wedge, used it with clinical precision, scoring an unlikely birdie on this hole. Eventually, he would go on to win the U.S. Open by 2 strokes over Jeff Sluman, scoring a final round day 72 compared to a field that was more than 5 strokes higher. When the U.S. Open returned to Pebble Beach in the year 2000, it was no less historic. Tiger Woods opened with a score of 65, sending a strong message of intent to the field. By the time he stepped onto the tee for the final round, Woods had built up a commanding 9-shot lead. As it appeared his victory would be imminent, Woods set a new goal for the day, a bogey-free round. He would accomplish that and then some. Not only did he not record a bogey, with birdies at the 10th, 12th, 13th, and 14th holes, Woods would also record a final round score of 67, giving him a 4-day total of 272 aggregate, tying the record for the lowest 72-hole score ever in the national championship, and besting his nearest competitor, Ernie Els, by 15 strokes.
I played with him the first two rounds in the first 36 holes, and just the control he had over the golf ball and the putts he knocked in. It was the most beautiful display of golf I've ever witnessed. But to win a U.S. Open by
12 or 15 shots, whatever it was, is incredible.
The 2010 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach was literally a dream for Northern Ireland's Graham McDowell. McDowell, who grew up in the beautiful and rugged Portrush, had always dreamed he would have 2 putts to win the U.S. Open. That's precisely what happened. So Graham McDowell could then add his name to the likes of Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, Tom Kite, and Tiger Woods as champions of the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, proving once again that not only do great golf courses produce great champions, but at Pebble Beach, dreams truly do come true. From Pebble Beach, I'm Matt Adams for the Back Nine Network.
Once again, welcome back to the 19th hole. We've built a good grip, we've established a good aim. Now let's build our stance so that we can swing correctly. And in positioning your body, it's always predicated on ball position. Aim the club face with your feet together, and then separate them according to where you want to play the ball. That's so important. When the ball's on the ground with an iron, it's going to be closer to the middle of your stance relative to your both feet. And then separate and get balanced. You have to have a dynamic feel for a good stance. You're going to get slightly bent at the knees, but more importantly, you're going to bend from the hip sockets so that your arms hang freely from your shoulders so they can stay nice and loose. So as you stand to the ball with proper posture, standing nice and tall, reach for the ground. Don't bend for the ground. Just stretch your arms out so that you can hover the club over the ground, so that you can feel the club as you're establishing your stance. And the critical thing is, because your left hand is higher than your right hand, your shoulders must be in the same relationship. The left shoulder is always going to be higher than your right shoulder, and that's going to allow you to have a little shoulder tilt or spine angle. That gets your head behind the golf ball. So important, but nice and balanced, 50-50 weight distribution. So important to get the proper posture. The second thing is when you move to your driver, now it changes a little because the ball is on a tee, and the stroke with the driver is an upstroke or hitting it up on it. And as you'll see, when I address the golf ball with my feet together, I want the ball position just inside my left heel, which, by the way, makes my head behind the ball. That's so critical. Notice that I can bring the club straight up and my head doesn't move, so that means I'm behind the ball. So now my stance is wider because it's a bigger swing, but my shoulder tilt is relative the same. Left shoulder higher than the right. My arms are nice and relaxed. And from here, now, I can start a good swing. Please remember, good grip, good aim, good stance, good swing. Those are the 4 elements of gas that we talk about. To produce a good swing, you have to have a good grip, good aim, good stance.
These days, fashion plays a huge part in golf. It's not always just about the equipment. After all, some of the best tour players in the world will tell you they only play as good as they look.
It's often been said that golf and fashion don't mix, but lately it looks like we've turned a corner from pleated pants and the braided belts, and style is more important now than it ever has been before. So during golf's most traditional week, we found out where the guys on tour get their advice on what to wear.
Every day we pack the suitcase. Does this go with this? Does that go with that? You know, really, we're just looking to match. I gotta tell you, we don't get a lot of choices on what guys are gonna wear. It's a pair of slacks and a golf shirt, unfortunately for them. But as far as what goes together and putting together a fashionable belt and shoe and something like that to make it a little more edgy is kind of fun.
All the young guys are wearing very stylish, tight, non-pleated pants. And so I went out and bought a bunch for him. And he is a trooper, and he's like, yeah, these look good. And he wears them, and I'm telling you, Oh yeah, he looks great, and he goes along with the program. He's smart.
And even though fashion hasn't always been in the forefront of the game of golf, the players' wives agree the key to looking good on the course is taking a risk.
Everyone's fashion forward. Ben, I have great pictures of Ben when he was wearing polyester pants with dice on them. And so, you know, I think things are actually coming back.
They're not afraid to wear pinks. They're not afraid to wear the spring colors that are coming out. And I'm telling you, the PGA Tour golfers are in white pants earlier than anyone else, and they're not afraid to show it, which just cracks me up. But they look good in it, they make it work, and most of them are very fashion savvy, and I like that. I like that it's important to them. It hasn't always been important what you look like on the PGA Tour. It's more about how you play, and now it's starting to be more fashion oriented, I think.
Like you, I love to travel. One of the places I've always wanted to go is Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That will be the host of the 2016 Olympic Games, where golf will make its first appearance in over 100 years. Bloomberg TV caught up with Gil Hanse, who designed the course for the Summer Olympic Games. Now, here's Rick Harrow with his report.
The business of the Olympics has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Huge brands like McDonald's, Visa, Citibank, and Coca-Cola dominated the scene at London 2012. So it was a bit surprising that golf returns to the Games in 2016. The Rio Organizing Committee chose a boutique firm from suburban Philadelphia to design and build its Olympic course.
First time playing this course, and against the guy who will revolutionize golf as we know it in South America, maybe the world. And I've got a better shot.
Oh! Gil Hanse, the designer, has a big-time reputation.
That's a very short 6
But to
feet.
Gil Hanse, the CEO, small is beautiful.
Nice job, my friend. Well, we've always been intentionally small.
Low overhead and high agility helped his company weather a recession, but it didn't stop Hanse from dreaming big and submitting a proposal for Rio 2016.
When we decided to put our hat in the ring, the key thing was that we wanted to make sure we didn't change what we do and who we are. And we thought if we can go into this and put together a plan that's reflective of that, that's all we can ask for. If they give us serious consideration, then great.
Hanse didn't just get serious consideration, he got a contract that everybody who's anybody in the world of golf was going for.
Jack Nicklaus, Danica Sorenstam, Greg Norman, Gary Player, obviously bigger names. How'd you beat them?
I think it was our commitment. I mean, I used the phrase, I said I hate it, which I do, but you know, we're all in. The commitment of moving myself, my wife Tracy, our youngest daughter Kaylee, down to Rio for the 9 months to a year that's going to take to build this golf course. And then I said to the committee, listen, if you can convince a 15-year-old girl to leave her friends, move to Rio, that's about as much commitment as I think anybody can have.
For the tie.
It's a very short 6 feet.
Short 6 feet, short 4.5 feet. Did Greg Norman call or text you to congratulate you?
He called. He's, you know, of all the finalists, he's the one who actually picked up the phone and called. I received some email messages and some text messages from all the other finalists. But when I saw on the caller ID Great White Shark, I thought, and it was him, and he was great. It was a very nice conversation we had.
To get an idea of what Hanse may do in Rio, I spent some time with him on a course he designed at Applebrook Golf Club outside Philadelphia.
The turf grasses here are northern climate grasses, so we have bent grass fairways, bluegrass, and fescue roughs, which won't survive the heat down in Rio. So what we're looking at down there is creating a course that relies on southern turf grasses. So you know, your three choices are a variety of Bermuda, Zoysia, or the Paspalum, which are the grass that are very salt tolerant.
Here we go. Ready? Game on.
Ooh, you're gonna be tough to beat. I was thinking full blast wedge, but I don't know.
Uh-oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
The greatest thing about the site in Rio is that it's all sand. And the aesthetic of sort of a beach setting is something that we really like, and to have this more exposed sand site. So the combination of the existing site characteristics, our aesthetic, when you combine that with the palette of plant material that we'll find down in Rio, I think will create a golf course that will have a sense of place to it, but will also relate to what we think are the greatest golf courses in the world.
Are you known for something, greens-wise? You're known for the bump and runs a little bit,
yeah,
right?
I think that, and people like our bunker style, which tends to be a little more diverse than this. This is a little bit vanilla for us, but not too bad.
Too hard. Look at that. Look at that. Down the slope.
I think it's the pressure.
What about the pressure of creating a legacy course for South America and introducing golf to the Olympic stage? Does that faze Hans and his modest little company?
The easy answer is no. I mean, we try to keep things light. We try not to let ourselves get too far ahead of us. You know, we've been doing this for 20 years, so we're quietly confident going into it. We're trying not to put a lot of pressure on ourselves. As I said earlier, we're just trying to do what we've always done, and if we do that, I think that'll be good enough.
Let's check back in with the golf doctor and find out what the tip was he gave Angel Cabrera at the 2009 Masters to help him win.
You know, once you establish how much break there is in the putt because of gravity, you establish your target. But always remember, putting is on the ground. So you have to read what is on the ground. Reading greens is an art. And poor putters usually don't take enough time reading the greens. Try to understand what gravity has on the effect of putting. And once you establish your target, you must aim your putter at where the ball needs to start to accommodate the break. That's really important. Plus the speed. So once you get set, now you know where you want to start the ball. From there, it's just a matter of creating a swing that allows the ball to go the direction you want it to go. So with Angel, we started doing that. I started improving his aim, started to improve his vision. But then I brought in a device that's called Inside Down the Line. Because as we did when we taught at Golf Digest for many years, we created a practice station. And the better you know how to practice, the better you're going to play on Sunday. So this device helped me control Angel with his subconscious mind. That's really important. So this here, you put in position to control the path. Make sure you're swinging the putter the direction the ball needs to start, not at the hole. So we rehearsed. You know, we all learned how to ride a bicycle, starting with a tricycle. And then we had a bicycle with training wheels. And then once we got the feel for what we're doing, our parents took the training wheels off and off we went. Well, this is the same thing with Mr. Cabrera. 2009, before the last round of the Masters, we had this on the putting green. We were training before he went to play. And that day in the afternoon on 16, he made one of the crucial putts of his Masters victory. On 16, left to right. But we had trained for so many hours, he was able to do it with his subconscious mind. That's why practice is so important. So once you put the device in position, now you're ready to start getting the feel of the path of the putter, which was really important. So we would practice for hours on end with him using the IDL, getting the ball to roll at the hole over and over and over again. Poor putters don't like to practice because they don't make many putts, but with the device you can sit here and make one after another. And Angel would do 100 in a row, controlling the face and the path. And that's what I want to really encourage you all to do in your practicing your putting. Get a device that helps you to control the path and the face, and in no time you're going to become a much better putter. If you want to become a good putter, you got to spend time on the putting green. And in the putting green, you want to control the face of the putter and the path at which you swing the putter. That's why I recommend the IDL from Momentous. That will help you train yourself consciously to get the stroke into your subconscious. And I guarantee if you're putting with your subconscious on Sunday, you'll make putts like Angel Cabrera did in 2009.
If you would like to advertise on the 19th Hole Network, call Graham McKernan at 713-479-5306. Have you ever wanted to drive a golf cart across a pond? You soon may be able to. Bubba Watson, in conjunction with Oakley, are creating what may be the best golf cart ride of your life.
Bubba Watson had this really nifty idea for improving some of the limitations of existing golf carts.
Golf carts have looked the same. They've been the same. You got to stay 30 yards from the green. You got to stay on the cart path when it's raining. But let's have fun. Let's go through the water hazard, come off the other side right by the green, put your ball in the hole, and then you can drive back across the water hazard. And who doesn't want to do that?
Bubba's idea was to see if we could incorporate a hovercraft principle, that is riding on a bubble of air, into the existing golf cart. What we had to look at was how we could use the existing elements such as the roof, the seat handles, the sand bottles, all of the various pieces that are on existing golf carts, how we could incorporate those into the hovercraft technology.
BW1 is a prototype, our first one out, no bumps. Golf cart's gonna have bumps. It takes you everywhere you wanna go, through sand traps, through waters, shortcuts, into the woods, out of the woods. And my ball likes to go in and out of the woods, so we gotta be able to get there in the best way and quickest way possible.
The big advantage of the hovercraft is it has a footprint pressure about 33 times less than the human foot. So by hovering across a green, you leave absolutely no trace.
I see a lot of stares, a lot of laughs, and then they actually see how efficient it is. I think it's going to really get more people involved. They're going to want to just drive the hovercraft and not play golf, but I mean, that's how I got started, you know, driving a golf cart, and then golf got in the way.
Welcome back to the 19th Hole Network. Now let's go over to Charlie, who's at the beach with his friend Igor.
Let me introduce you to Igor. Igor is for instructional purposes only, and it's to illustrate two things. One, the leading edge of the club is in this position. That's digging. We want to learn to hit the trailing edge, or what is called the bounce. And notice when I expose the bounce, the shaft actually goes backwards, and it makes the club face open more, but we skid through the sand. We want to hit a skidder shot, not a digger shot, okay? Let me show you what I mean. As you swing the club, and we're just going to use our regular grip. We're going to dig our feet in just a little, only because it makes you look cool. But the swing shape is just up and down. It's a descending blow. But as you come close to the board, you want to hit the bounce. And if you see here, the paint is on the back edge. That's key. Learn how to do that, and it's just simply by letting the right hand go under the left. It's boom. So to illustrate, I'll put a little sand on the board. Get yourself a little 2x4 training device and learn to hit the sand out of the bunker. Very, very simple. So now if I take a regular club, see the difference? The same thing exists. The leading edge, the trailing edge. But as you put the shaft backwards, it exposes the club, and it'll glide through the sand. But for training purposes, and remember, in good bunker play, you have 3 goals. Get it out, get it on, and maybe close. So let's get it out first. So we know how to hit the sand. We put the ball on the sand, but I'm going to try to hit the board underneath the sand. And what happens? It goes out. The ball goes where the sand goes. It's the only shot in golf you don't want to make ball club contact. So as you get good at that, you will improve. So remember, a chip shot you get in this position. Bunker play, have the club go straight up and down at your belly button. Dig your feet in, a little more weight on the left than the right, and hit the board. And it'll come out every time. Now let me show you just out of the sand. I'm going to pretend that there's a board underneath the ball. So you have to hit down on it with the bounce. And that'll probably go in. So remember, use the bounce and hit the sand.
Throughout the years, golf has produced some of the biggest names in sports. Many of those are household names, like Nicklaus, Hogan, Palmer, and Jones. Then there are those who've been overshadowed by their peers, like the great Billy Casper, who won 3 major championships. Here's Back Nine Network's Matt Adams with a look at a Hall of Famer you may have forgotten about.
Billy Casper, the man who won 51 times on the PGA Tour, racked up 3 majors, 5 Arden trophies, and the man Johnny Miller called the most underrated golfer ever, is a contented man. His faith, family, and storied career are recorded for all time in his new book, The Big Three and Me. Others may have stolen the headlines, but no one can deny the truth that between 1964 and 1970, Billy Casper won more times than Nicklaus and twice as many times as Palmer and Player combined.
You can win so many tournaments, but if you don't win a major tournament, you're never remembered. People remember you for winning the Open.
They say that at majors, any major is not determined until the back nine on Sunday, and at no time was that more true than at the 1966 U.S. Open right here at Olympic. Arnold Palmer had whipped his army into a frenzy, shooting a 32 on the front side, going 7 up with only 9 holes to play, leaving Casper, his playing partner, to face what he thought was the inevitable.
I wanted to finish second because I wanted to play the best I possibly could play each week, and the way he was playing, there was no one going to catch him. As we walked to the 10th tee, I think he felt like, I have the tournament won, I'll try. I'm going to change my goal to Hogan's record. And then what happened at the 15th hole, the record was no longer there for him to tie or defeat, and he panicked.
By the time they got here to the short par 3 15th hole, Palmer's 7-shot lead was down to 5. The King was aggressive. He went for a tightly tucked hole location and ended up bunkering his drive. That would result in a bogey. Casper birdied the hole. Lead now down to 3, and the ever-stoic challenger was closing in.
I very rarely showed any emotion on the course. And many people thought I was a grouch on the course because I didn't show emotion. I felt that if I got high on a good shot or low on a bad shot, I was using up energy that I needed, maybe later on in the round. If I knew I was doing all the proper things, making the right decisions, shooting a good score, no one had a chance.
And no one, not even the great Arnold Palmer, did on this day in 1966. There was another bogey birdie swing at the par 5 16th, and when Palmer made yet another bogey at the 17th, they were tied. That's the way they would finish. Like the miraculous victory by the U.S. Olympic hockey team over the Russians in 1980, people often forget there still was a game to play. Palmer and Casper teed it up for an 18-hole playoff the next day, and again, the King would take the lead early on the front side, only to squander it on the backside. He would end up losing to Billy Casper by 4 strokes. Billy Casper had won his second U.S. Open title. But the photograph of a seemingly apologetic Casper, his arms draped around Arnold Palmer's massive shoulders, will be remembered here at the Olympic Club forever.
That made the 3rd time that he'd lost the Open in a playoff. And he was very gracious in congratulating me, as he always is. And when I put my arm around him, I said I was sorry. You have that feeling, you know how much each person wants to win, and you feel for them when you beat them, even though you want to win too.
Billy Casper would go on to win the Masters in 1970, his 3rd major title. Arnold Palmer would never win another. It's the legacy of the 1966 U.S. Open here at the Olympic Club. For As It Lies, I'm Matt Adams on the Back Nine Network.
The Ocean Course at Kiowa Island in South Carolina was host to one of the most famous Ryder Cup matches in golf history, the War on the Shore in 1991. Now here's a look at how that course was developed while maintaining its natural environment.
I think early on we went to lower density. We preserved a lot of open space, and the market responded to that.
And did it ever? It took the genius of Buddy Darby and his development partners to really be the genesis of an idea of taking 10,000 acres and turning it into the resort that would be known as Kiowa.
All you have to do is step out on the Kiowa, and it's one of the prettiest maritime forests up along our coast, maybe on the whole East Coast, and got such a tremendous beach. When you look at the combination of those two, you know you're somewhere special.
Development got underway in the 1970s with a team of historians, environmentalists, and the developers working together to ensure that the social and recreational and environmental needs of the new residents would be in harmony with those residents that were already here.
What they've done here on the Ocean Course is so incredibly special because instead of trying to alter the environment, they've worked with it and created within this incredible dune community not only spectacular golf, but a wonderful place for our wildlife. We have over 250 species of birds that either live or migrate through Kiowa. We have over 18 different species of snakes. Alligators, Kiowa's home to about 600 alligators. Yesterday I had the joy of helping to escort a little baby sea turtle hatchling out to the water. It doesn't take folks long to realize that Kiowa is a different type of place and that everyone here, whether they're vacationing here or they're living on Kiowa, is here because this is what they enjoy.
The Kiowa tribe, who laid claim to this beautiful property centuries and centuries ago, may be surprised to know that it welcomes some 400,000 plus guests every season, but they'd be very pleased to know that it's every bit as beautiful now as it was then.
I hope that we've been good custodians and have not really changed the essence of that natural beauty that was there well before we came along.
From the beautiful Kiowa Island, I'm Matt Adams for the Back Nine Network.
I'm having trouble with my chipping. Maybe the golf doctor has a prescription that will remedy my troubles and help you too.
The art of chipping. First and foremost, read the green. You got to know where your target is. Remember, you always have to aim, then set your body in position. The key in chipping, and you'll notice that this shot here, I'm uphill, so it's like skiing, you want to lean into the hill. More weight on the left foot than the right foot. You're going to grip the club right in the middle of the grip. Gives you maximum feel for the end of the club. Even down on the steel isn't too bad, but right there. Once you get your body positioned where your eyes are looking in front of the ball, not behind, because we want to pinch the ball into the hill. Hands are a little forward, weight left. Always make sure you look where you want the ball to go. Your eyes will tell your body what to do. But then it's just a very efficient swing from 7 to 6 to 5 o'clock in relationship to your watch. And you'll notice as I struck the ball, my body pivoted on my left foot. It went with the stroke. Remember that. Don't look back, look forward. Chipping is an art that you must practice.
Thanks, Charlie. I'll be sure to chip it close from now on. And thank you for tuning in to the 19th Hole Network. We hope you've enjoyed this look into the world of golf. We hope you tune in again next time you stay at one of our fine hotels. For the 19th Hole Network, I'm Tara Whitting. If you would like to advertise on the 19th Hole Network, call Graham McKernan at 713-479-5306.